morning. Good morning. Marietta here, back with another video, y'all. It is cold down here. Let's start out with that. All right. It is cold, wet, rainy. It's one of those days, we just want to snuggle up, you know what I'm saying? But you got to get up and you got to do what you got to do. As I was thinking about things this morning, because y'all know, those that know, been here for a while, I love getting up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and pray, and I love to see what God has for me for the day, and that's what keeps me motivated and keeps me excited. And what God spoke to me about this morning was starting all over again in the midst of the recession. Starting all over again in the midst of this recession. I know that's hard for some people to swallow. I know that is hard for you to even fathom the fact that you're here in this place. Not realizing so many people are they're still not realizing how we got here, what to do in this place, how to begin to move, how to begin to recover, how to begin to be able to even get rest. When you're in the midst of things that you don't understand, the best thing for you to do after you done prayed is to just begin to take it one day at a time. If and so you decide you're going to think about next week, next year, next month, this, that, and the other thing, it's going to start to overwhelm you and it's going to overtake you. One thing I have learned in this whole situation and in all the years that I've been here, because I ain't no spring chicken, y'all. I've been here for quite a while. I've seen some things. I've been through some things. I've lived through some things. I've suffered through some things. I've laughed through some things. I've cried through some things. I've loved through some things. And I've hated you through some things. I've been through all areas of life. And I really believe that right now I am qualified to give you a little bit of advice about how to move in this recession and how to recover while you're in this midst of this recession. Reality first have to hit in your mind, set in your mind that it's happening. Anytime you want to change anything that's going on in your life, you have to first admit that it is happening. You have to acknowledge it. You have to just realize that this is where we are right now. This is what our reality is right now. This is what we're looking at. This is what we're headed deeper into. This is what has come upon the land that's changing the whole dynamic of how we lived, how we moved, how we interacted, how we begin to share with each other, how we just, our total being is being shaken to the core, and we don't understand or how to operate in the midst of the change. Because the midst of the change don't look like it's giving out new houses or you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. No, it's none of that. It's none of that. Instead, it's time to downsize. It's time to declutter. It's time to get rid of some things. It's time to reevaluate. It's time to move in such a way that now it's like taking weight off your shoulders, because a lot of the things that we carry, a lot of things that we have collected, a lot of things that we have cluttered up and we have acquired, some of these things, God knows, we do not need. So many of them we don't need. Closets filled to the one end or the other with clothes you in the closet that you ain't wore in years. Shoes that you have not put your foot in years, but they still sitting there. You look over here in this closet. You got all kinds of decorations. You got all kinds of books. You got all kinds of toys that the kids ain't played with for years. They got clothes they ain't played with for years because of the fact that we were just conditioned to collect stuff. Let's just call a thing a thing. We were just conditioned to say we see it, we buy it, we take it home. Yeah, we might like it for a minute, but then it just gets thrown in the corner, gets tossed away. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all, even with this situation we're going in, how to move in the midst of this recession. One thing to do is to slow yourself down and begin to evaluate what you need opposed to what it is you want. What you need opposed to what it is that you just grabbing a hold to because of the fact that you're going through a depression or you're going through the recession and you are shopping out of anxiety, or you doing things just because of the fact that you're over anxious, you're depressing, so therefore you need something to do. So something to do is to get yourself some paper and pencil, begin to look around your house. Sometimes it even got to be the house. Some of y'all have come to the conclusion that you can't even keep that. Hold on. It has become a burden. Because, there was a time that we saw these great, big, beautiful houses, and we wanted the biggest house on the block, and we wanted to make a statement, and then we were stuck with a payment that now it begins to weigh on us. And now it's time to just swallow the bullet and say, okay, I got to get rid of this. I got to get rid of this. I got to take the weight off of me. I got to begin to move in a way that is going to make my life a lot easier moving through this recession. I'm going to have to learn how to plant some seeds. I'm going to learn how to move with 3 or 4 pair of jeans instead of 60 pair. I'm going to have to move with maybe 3 or 4 dresses instead of 30 dresses. I'm going to have enough now that I can sell, make some extra money, put some extra food in my food bank. I'm going to have to start stocking up some things. So I'm going to have to plant some things. I'm going to have to get in here and realize that, you know, we can't trust nobody now but yourself. You can only trust you right about now. I mean, look how we trusted Campbell Soup. Campbell Soup, they're having a problem with each other. So therefore, it's like saying, if you can't trust the food that you're putting in your mouth, it's time for you to learn how to grow some food. And I'm talking to myself too. It's time for us to learn how to do some things on our own. A lot of times we get so comfortable and we get so... And you know, as Americans, we've been very comfortable. So now is, how do we live in a recession? How do you live in this recession? How do you live in a place where you feel like things are being taken away from you because you have felt that you have deserved of all these things, or you felt as though I worked hard for all these things and I should continue to have them. I went to Sephora 3 times a week. I was over here at Walmart 3 or 4 times a week. I was able to get up out the middle of the bed and go hang out at Walmart because it stayed open all night. I was over here buying things from Gucci and Louis Vuitton, and I wore MAC lipstick. How dare you tell me that I got to put Walmart lipstick on my lips? How dare you? Now it's to a place where you might have to wipe that whole slate clean and start out with just your own lips. And go back to that Lord that Mama used to put on our lips back in the day. That Crisco that Mama used to put on our lips back in the day. You bite a piece of good fried chicken, it agrees your lips all by itself. Come on, somebody. This is how you live in a recession. When you decide to get in there and you decide to take your hands and you take them 3 or 4 ingredients and you make them biscuits from scratch and put them in that pan and begin to bake them. How do you live in this recession? You begin to downsize your living to the point where the space that you have is the space that you use. You don't need an east wing and a north wing and a south wing of the house and nobody's over there and nobody's in it but you. It's 2 people in a house and y'all huddle up in one little room but y'all heating 7, 8, 9, 10 rooms and refuse. Just refuse. This house has become your God. You ain't gonna let nobody live in it. You ain't gonna let nobody walk through it. You ain't gonna want nobody to come and stay with you. You want to make sure that it's just beautiful. So when you decide you want to show it off, you can show it off. Now it's to a place where it's time to get out from around that. It's time to get out from under that, because moving through this recession, you're gonna have to move light. And then when I say light, you need to move with as minimal stuff as you possibly can, because acquiring a lot of stuff is going to put weight on you. You're going to be trying to hold on to stuff that God is trying to pull away from you. Why? Because those things that you're trying to hold on to are really burdens. When you really look at it and you really think about it, when you get stripped away from these things and you stop praising these things and you stop thinking that you got to have these things, you will realize how much energy you save, how much brain power you save, how much you are able to think about other things, opposed to me having a lot of stuff or me collecting a lot of stuff. I got to have the baddest car on the block. I got to have the biggest house on the block. I got to have more money than my neighbors, and I'm staying looking out the window trying to see if they bought anything new. So if they bought something new, then I got to go buy something new. That race, you will be off of that treadmill. You'll be off of that treadmill, and you'll be in a place where it won't bother you at all, because you will know that you're living within your means. You will know that you will live to be able to spend another day, because of the fact that you're saving right now to be able to walk through this recession as powerful and as you possibly can, and be able to have the means to be able to feed yourself while you're going through it. Now, it's not saying that you got to have everything, because this is where your communities come in at. You might be over here growing corn and they might be over there growing tomatoes. Y'all can swap. I give you some corn, you give me some tomatoes. I give you some okra, you give me some squash. I give you some blueberries, you give me some blackberries. This is how you do when you're building a community and you actually are working together, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to work with somebody, because nobody's able to do every piece of food out there that you need to keep your body strong. Nobody's going to be able to plant all that all by themselves unless you got buku acres of land. But to be able to plan enough to be able to share, be able to plan enough to be able to maybe even make a few dollars on, you will be able to do that. And I know a lot of y'all say, well, I ain't got no place to plant nothing. I hear so much of that. It does not matter if you got a window and a counter. You could put cucumbers, even if you only produce 3 or 4 cucumbers. That's enough to get you started. That's enough to keep you alive. You got to realize that right now, survival mode, when you're trying to be in the midst of a recession and you're trying to see how to survive in the midst of a recession, you got to be able to use all your avenues, all your avenues. You know, a collard green plant and a kale plant is the prettiest plant you ever want to see, even if they're grown by themselves in one flower pot. So you got to be able to say that there's no excuses. There's no excuse you can give me why you can't plant something. A lot of people are just afraid. The fear of it all, the fear of what's coming down the pipe. If you let fear overtake you, it's going to put you in a mindset where you're going to miss the blessings of God in the midst of the storm, and you're going to surely going to perish if and so you do not get to a place where you can look after yourself and take care of yourself. We're going to eat. I'm just going to put it right there. We're going to eat. Those that want to eat, going to eat. Those that want to eat, going to eat, because we understand how to fish. We understand how to go out there and throw that fishing rod out there and catch a fish. We understand how to hunt. We understand how to go to the neighbor's house and even pay them. Use your barter system and pay them for some of the cow that they just put down. They may have already sent a cow to the slaughter. You just pay them for your part. But you got to have some money to do this. You got to be able to be in a position to be able to do this. So you got to learn how to move in a recession. And move in a recession, you got to open your mouth, because closed mouths will not get fed. Nobody's going to beg you to come and buy nothing from them. And nobody's going to sit there, maybe not even knock on your door to see if you're okay. You got to present yourself. You got to come out and speak for yourself. This is a time that you don't want the rocks crying out for you. You got to be able to cry out for yourself, because right about now, what we're going through, what we're seeing right now, and how you're seeing it, if you don't see what's coming down the pike, if you don't see what's happening right now, if you are not living in this situation to be able to see what's happening, whether it's affecting you or not. It may not be affecting you at all, but there's one thing for it not to affect you, but God knows it's a whole new ball game for you not to see it. Because it may not be affecting you right now, but you don't know what kind of curveballs might be thrown in the midst of this situation. At least all I'm saying is keep your eyes open. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep your head on a swivel. This is how you make it through a recession. This is how you make it through a recession. And you don't just constantly keep piling bills up. I know. A lot of y'all did y'all big one on Black Friday. Y'all did y'all big one. Y'all shopped up what they said, trillions of millions of dollars worth of merchandise. Keep that same energy at the end of January. Keep that same energy. Make sure y'all keep that same energy. That's how you start the year spending. That's how you start the year balling. Make sure you're able to keep that same energy rolling on in to the new year. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I ain't no hater. And I can afford to do it too, but I just chose not to. I chose to hold on to my dollars because I like to see what's happening. I like to see what's coming at me. I'm one of them old school that just likes to squeeze a dollar. Because I'm not interested in going and buy a bunch of stuff I don't need. It's only one of me, though. It's only one of me. My son is well taken care of. He got everything he needs. I got everything I need. There was no need for me to be out there trying to waste a whole bunch of money just because they call a sale. I can shop all year round if that's what I want to do. Whenever I want to buy something, I buy it. It's just like that. That's how I do it. But since I don't need nothing, I didn't worry about buying nothing. See, that's the difference. I've always been one to try to buy what I need. If I don't need nothing, I was never one to just run to the stores and just buy a whole bunch of stuff, because I'm not that type of girl. I'm not that type of woman. I'm not that one that's conditioned to sitting in the stores all day long trying to see what she can buy or trying to see what's the latest this and latest that. No, that's never been me. I'm not interested in that type of foolishness. Because to me, that's what it is. But if that's what you do, then that's what you do. I'm not hating on you. I'm not hating on you at all. And I'm not judging you either. Do what you do. But this is how you make it in a recession. How you make it in a recession is you got to, first of all, realize that it is. Second of all, you got to be able to simplify your life. Third of all, you got to rectify your spending and stop spending so much. Pay your bills, pay off your debt, and try to be able to be self-sufficient in this season. Do not allow the government to be your daddy, and you got to go to the government for anything and everything, because you're surely going to lose, because they're trying to shut all those things down the best they know how, or they're trying to put them in a place where they're only for certain people. So if this happens, and I agree with them when they're saying that the certain people are the elderly, the disabled, and the veterans, I agree 100%. Able-bodied people that they're speaking of need to get up and go to work. I agree with that 100%. But yet and still, I still want to let y'all know that we're in a season now where it's every man for themselves, and you got to know how to move in the midst of this recession. So that's my take on how do you grow? How do you live? How do you move? How do you begin to operate in the midst of the recession? That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You just got to do it. That's all. Because first of all, you really don't have no choices. You really don't have no. How do you move in when you have no other options? You have none. You have none. You have no other options but to survive. You have no other options but to be in survival mode. You have no other options but to continue to do what you know to do. And you got to try some different things, and don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid of failure. Some things you may try may fail, but oh well, try something else. Just continue to keep trying. The only thing that you can do in this season is do the best you can and try not to think so much about next week or this week or third week or this week. Live in the moment. Will it back in and focus on what's going on in your life right now, right this minute. Right this minute. Are you okay right now? How are you feeling right now? How are you mentally right now? How are you protecting your mental health? Are you okay? This is how you're going to do all that, is by living in the moment, and don't stress out. Try not to stress out. Just stress out. Try not to crash out. Because, beloved, I truly believe that you're going to make it through this. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. Is it going to be easy? No, I don't believe it's going to be easy, but I know we're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to be ready, willing, and able to go through some stuff. You know, and sometimes pain can push you to your promise. Some people say, well, what would Jesus do? How did Jesus make it through? Let me tell you how Jesus made it through. First of all, how Jesus made it through? John 11:35 says Jesus wept. You got to cry sometime. Jesus wept. That's how he made it through. That's how you're going to make it through. That's how I'm going to make it through. But one thing for sure is we're going to keep right on moving. The key word in that is made it through. We're going to go through this. And we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. So with that being said, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all watching my videos. If you have not subscribed to the channel, come on, I need you to hit that like button. I need you to hit that subscription button. So many of y'all are watching and you're not subscribed. We like to uplift, motivate, and inspire over here. We do have a safe community over here where you can come and you can communicate and you can share your opinion. In fact, share your opinion on this video. And if you haven't turned your notification bells on, please turn your notification bells on at this time so you'll be notified when I drop my next video. And while I'm here, I want to thank each and every one of you that thought it not robbery to send me super thanks and to be able to send me cash app. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And with that being said, I love y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all day.